My name is Daniel, and this is the story of how my homeowners association tried to control my life and how we finally stood up to them. When he bought my house, the real estate agent casually mentioned, "Oh, this community is how managed, but don't worry, it keeps property values high." That right, sir, should have been my first red flag. At first, everything seemed perfect. Neighbors waved, kids were riding their bikes, and every lawn was manicured like a golf course. He paid my half fees every month without a second thought. He even read the entire rule book and he followed every single rule. Then came the letter. It was taped to my front door, written in bright red ink, a violation notice, unapproved trash bin visibility. Apparently, my trash bin had been visible from the street for exactly 4 minutes after the garbage truck came by. 4 minutes. He actually laughed out loud. He thought it had to be a joke. It wasn't. 2 days later, another letter arrived. This time, it said, "Warning, unauthorized doorbell camera." Now, this one really got me. He had installed a tiny, discreet doorbell camera after a package was stolen from my porch. You could barely even see it, but according to the HOA, it was a visual disruption to neighborhood aesthetics. He tried everything. He emailed them politely. No more response. He called and he got sent straight to voicemail. So, he decided to attend my first HOA meeting. And that's where he met her. The HOA president. Let's just call her Linda. Linda sat at the head of the table like a queen on her throne. Perfect posture, a tight smile, and a clipboard clutched in her hand. When she spoke, the entire room went silent. He nervously raised my hand. I'm Daniel from Maple Drive. He had a question about the doorbell camera. She took me off before he could finish. Your question has already been answered in the violation notice. He tried again, but she shut me down. You agreed to the rules when you bought the house. And that was it. No more discussion. No more explanation. Just pure power. From that moment on, he became a target. My lawn was suddenly too uneven. My mailbox was slightly discolored. My welcome mat, not HOA approved. Every single week, a new notice would appear, each one coming with a bigger fine. $25, $50, $100. He was being bullied in my own home. One evening, he looked out my window and he saw Linda walking past my house, holding her phone up and taking pictures of my house. He stepped outside. "Can he help you?" She didn't even flinch. "I'm documenting violations," she sighed flatly. "What violations?" he asked. She zoomed in on my front window. "Your blinds are not uniformly angled." He wished he was making this up. That night, he couldn't sleep. He just kept thinking, how is this really my life? A grown man, afraid of his HOA president? That's when he decided he had to fight back. So he did something radical. He read the HOA bylaws again. This time, line by line, page by page. And that's when he found it. A little clause buried deep in the document. Any structural or aesthetic rule must be applied equally to all homeowners. Equally. That one word changed everything. Because once he started looking around, he noticed some interesting things. Linda herself had a garden gnome on her lawn. Garden gnomes were explicitly prohibited. My next-door neighbor had a ring camera, just like mine. Another violation. 3 houses down. A basketball hoop clearly visible from the street. Violation. So he started documenting. He took photos. He noted dates and the times. He wasn't breaking the rules. He was collecting receipts. At the next HOA meeting, Linda had that same confident smile. "Any new business?" she asked the room. He raised my hand. She let out a heavy sigh. "Yes, Daniel." He stood up, my heart pounding in my chest. "I'd like to discuss the selective enforcement of HOA rules." You could feel the entire mood of the room shift. He pulled out my folder. "You have documented 27 violations within a 3-house radius of the HOA president's own home." The room was filled with gasps. Linda's smile vanished completely. He kept going. Garden gnomes, visible cameras, trash bins left out overnight, basketball hoops, decorative flags. She tried to interrupt me. "This is inappropriate," but he shook her off calmly. "No more. What's inappropriate is targeting one homeowner while ignoring others." Complete silence. Then, he dropped the final bomb. "I've also consulted a lawyer." That was a lie. But it worked. Within a week, all my fines were suddenly under review. 2 weeks later, they were dismissed. And 1 month after that, Linda resigned as HOA president, citing personal reasons. It's funny how quickly power disappears when accountability shows up. Today, my doorbell camera is still set. My trash bin sometimes stays out for a little longer than 4 minutes. And do you know what? No more one bothers me. Because bullies only have power when you give it to them through silence and fear. The moment you stop being afraid, they lose everything. So if you're dealing with a nightmare of your own, remember this, you are not powerless. Read the rules. Know your rights. And never, ever forget it's your home. Thanks for watching. And if you like this story, make sure to subscribe for more.